is proudly presented by AT&T Uverse TV.
The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the North. We are the West.
As your Rangers continue to play shorthanded, the club's depth is being pressed to perform. Tonight, the likes of Profar, Baker, and McGinnis are in the spotlight and the lineup when the Rangers go for a series win against the Cleveland Indians. It is another warm and breezy evening here in North Texas. Rangers ballpark in Arlington. Clear blue skies overhead. The Rangers getting set to finish the series against the Cleveland Indians. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Reed, Steve Busby. Glad you can join us on this Wednesday evening of Ranger baseball. Rangers looking to win another series tonight, the rubber match, as they take on the Tribe from Cleveland. And tonight, Tom, Nick Tepesch back to the hill, trying to break a streak where the ball club hasn't won. He's had a hard time. Still pitched well, but not quite good enough.
No, he's had a couple of innings that hurt him in his last start. Toronto, Buzz, I thought he was throwing as well as he has all year. Started the 6th or 7th inning, hit a batter with a pitch. Before you know it, three or four runs had scored. But for the most part, we're going to show what he's done compared to AL rookies. Obviously, he stacks up very well. There's been a lot of times where he's been on the mound where he has not looked like a rookie. He's got a good assortment of pitches, a sneaky fastball with movement. He gets a lot of ground balls. He pitches with a lot of composure. So even though he is a rookie, and maybe at times has pitched like a rookie, more often than not, he's looked like a veteran out there.
Oh, that he has. And I think, one thing that would help him out a lot tonight is if the Rangers were getting some early runs, because those have been sorely lacking for not just Nick Tepesch, but the entire staff. Jurickson, Profar, and company. Profar in the starting spot, in the number one spot, I should say, in the starting lineup tonight. We'll be back with the whole lineup and the first pitch coming up right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Come join the red, white, and used celebration. Enjoy great savings on America's best-selling brand. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIT-ATT. Rethink possible. And by Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. The Rangers on the field and fans in the stands getting ready for the rubber game of this 3-game series. Before we get underway, let's head down to the field where Emily Jones is standing by him.
Well, Buzz, Ron Washington looking for any way to get Jeff Baker into the lineup, shaking things up today, giving Elvis Andrus the day of rest, and Jurickson Profar making the start at shortstop. So Jeff Baker will get his first start of the season at second base, providing quite the diverse role player for this team.
No, I kind of embrace it, and look forward to the challenge of trying to be sharp at, 5 different positions and kind of bouncing around and doing all that. But at the same time, anybody would tell you, if you're playing one position, you're obviously going to feel more comfortable, and the reps are going to be there, and you're going to improve, and kind of go that way. But this is the role I'm in. I embrace it, I like it, and I enjoy the challenge every day.
Jeff Baker with tonight's Geico quote of the game. We hear about 5 tool players all the time in baseball. I guess Jeff Baker a 5-position player, Buzz.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't audition for the pitching role too. Now the Cleveland Indians starting lineup looks like this. Michael Bourne leads off. Jeff Gipnis in second. Nick Swisher bats third, plays first base. Michael Brantley's the cleanup hitter. Carlos Santana catches tonight. Mark Reynolds bats sixth, plays third. As the first pitch of the ball game comes outside to Michael Bourne. Bourne steps in hitting at .294. Loops one to left field. Murphy coming on. Will have to pull up and play it on a hop. And Michael Bourne with a leadoff single is aboard to start things off for the Cleveland Indians.
Check out the Budweiser scouting report for Nick Tepish. He's 3-5, a solid ERA, 3.92. He's had 11 starts. April, his ERA was a couple of runs better than it has been since then. Opponents average through the lineup. First time through the lineup, he's been terrific. 146 average, pretty good the second time. Third time through the lineup is when Nick has struggled a little bit.
So Bourne with very good speed aboard with the leadoff single. Now Jason Kipnis, and he takes high and outside for ball one.
And this is the time of day where that type of a line drive or a little bit higher can give the left fielder a lot of problems. David is right in the middle of the sun. It's setting behind the stadium, and basically it's right in his eyes. A high fly won't be a problem. A line drive could be.
There's a strike. That evens things out to Kipnis, who's hitting .245. Pretty good pop for a number 2 hitter in the order. 8 home runs and 30 driven in. Cleveland coming in at 31-32. They are trailing the Detroit Tigers by 5.5 games in the Central Division. A little toss to first. This road trip has been very tough for them. They are 1-8 on the trip. Started in New York, went to Detroit, and now finishing up here in Texas. Another toss over, and Bourne is back standing. Michael Bourne establishing his lead. The check by Tepish, and now the pitch. Inside, it's 2-1. Bourne with 9 stolen bases in 13 attempts. And Nick Tepish paying a lot of attention, and he needs to. This is a team in Cleveland that really likes to run. Both Kipnis with 14 stolen bases and Bourne with 9. They get on and do some damage. This one popped up. Shallow left field. David Murphy coming on into the shadows, and Murphy makes the catch. Back to first goes Bourne. That's out number 1. And we'll take a look at the Ranger defense tonight, brought to you by Echo. You saw Murphy in left field. Martine is in center and Cruz in right. McGinnis the start at first. There's Jeff Baker at second. Jurickson Profar is the shortstop. Adrian Beltre at third. A.J. Persinski behind the plate. And the 24-year-old right-hander Nick Tepish is on the hill. A 1 on now, 1 out. And Nick Swisher will step in. Swisher, switch hitting outfielder, infielder, DH, gets started first tonight. Up there from the left side against the right-hander, Nick Tepish. And the pitch tails outside for ball one. Swisher at .239. 7 home runs, 23 driven in. He has been in a pretty good downturn, hitting just .219 against right-handed pitchers this year. And Tepish again will drive Bourne back with a toss. Rangers won here on Monday night by a 6-3 count. Last night the Indians got even in the series, 5-2 the final there. Off speed, and that finds the strike zone. It is 1-1 to Swisher. Nick Tepish out of rural Kansas City, suburban Kansas City. Out in Blue Springs, about 15 minutes east of Kauffman Stadium, where the Royals play up there. Another toss to first. Tepish 3 years at University of Missouri down in Columbia. Need the club out of spring training. Rangers needed a 5th starter, and he got the job by his excellent spring, and he has fulfilled, I think, the expectations and then some for the Rangers. A 5th starter, he has proved more than up to the task. If you look at what Nick Tepish has done, and you have to be impressed with how unflappable the young man seems. Chris McGinnis, another one of the Ranger rookies, holding Michael Bourne at first. A ball and 2 strikes to Swisher. And again, Bourne driven back by a toss.
Bourne has stolen 9 bases. He's 9 out of 13. Over the last 4 or 5 years, no one in baseball has stolen more bases than Bourne. Although he may be a little bit below his pace in the last few years this year.
Tepish comes set again, a toss to first. Swisher climbing back in the batter's box, digging that left foot in at the back of the box and tapping home plate a couple of times. Tepish okays the sign. The right-hander's ready. Pitch out. Nothing going here. Bourne staying put at first base. 2-2 now. Tepish says yes. Come set.
What do you mean?
And that pitch chop foul. 93 degrees here tonight at game time. Another warm evening. It's been in the low to mid 90s this whole week, and apparently it's going to be that way for the foreseeable future. Well, a quick reminder that in tonight's game, we are participating in the Home Run Challenge, and every home run hit tonight raises $12,000 for prostate cancer research. And you can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. That's homerunchallenge.org. Had 1 home run last night's ball game, raised $10,000 tonight. I'd like to jump that up a little bit. 2-2 to Swisher. Round ball. It's fair. McGinnis, a nice play. Tried to get the out at second after he tagged the bag at first. Couldn't do it. Bourne is safe, but boy, nice play by McGinnis. Having to go to his backhand to snare that ball. Boy, from our angle, that didn't look like it was a fair ball, but it was ruled fair.
I think he caught it fair and then kind of went into foul territory.
Yeah, you're right.
And he did the right thing. Make sure you get it out. Bourne's got excellent speed. Been nice to get the lead runner, but just making the play on that smash is good enough. That was a beautiful pickup on a hard ball to catch. It might have been fair by about an inch, it looked like.
Well, that's okay, as long as you get that out. Then. Now here's Michael Brantley, and Tepesch drops in that slow curveball for strike one. Yeah, good job by McGinnis.
Yeah, nice pickup.
Good reactions to it. Brantley, a 286 hitter. He has Bourne out there at second base. 2 outs in the top of the first. And another breaking ball that comes in the back door. It is 0-2.
That's one thing that Nick has shown the ability to do. He's got good movement on his fastball. The sinker will get a lot of ground balls, and he's also mixed in a pretty good curveball, pretty good slider, and occasional changeup to give the hitter a lot of different looks.
Now the 0-2. Oh, he jammed him. That's going to wear that handle of that bat out. Matter of fact, Brantley's going to have to go back and get another one. Ball was foul, so we'll come back and try it again at 0-2. That's something I'd really like to see Nick Tepesch do a little more often. Get that ball in there off the plate just to give guys something to think about. And, you know, Tom, we showed the numbers on Tepesch the third time through the order. That's what is going to change that around for Tepesch when he's able to pitch inside.
Good point. I agree.
And that's all part of figuring out what you have to do at the big league level. Again, the 0-2. Little looper to left field. Here comes Murphy. The one hop. Bourne's being waved home. The throw to the plate is in time and out at home plate. Bourne tagged by Pierzynski. And for the second straight night, David Murphy has gunned down a Cleveland Indian. With a drive in the first, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left, thanks to David Murphy and a great throw to get Bourne. We are still scoreless. Scoreboard in the top of the first. Now the Rangers starting lineup delivered by First Financial Bank. Jurickson Profar leads off. David Murphy is second. Lance Berkman is the DH. Adrian Beltre cleanup. A.J. Pierzynski is the catcher hitting fifth. Nelson Cruz in right. Jeff Baker at second. Chris McGinnis at first. And batting ninth is Leonis Martin. And Ubaldo Jimenez on the hill for the Cleveland Indians. Jimenez comes in at 4-4, a 5.03 earned run average. All string bean, a great changeup.
Check out the scouting report for Jimenez. 4-4, a 5.03 ERA. 2 or fewer runs, though, in 6 of his last 8 starts. He's pitched considerably better, almost 5 runs better on the road than he has at home. That's the largest difference, 4.6 of any pitcher in the major leagues. Another thing you notice about Jimenez is his socks. He's got the retro look.
Yep.
The stirrup socks with the white sanitary socks underneath it. Very seldom do you see a ball player with that look. Pants up, sock showing, and the white socks underneath it.
Yeah, the real stirrups, too, not
Yeah.
the painted ones.
That's right.
0-2 the count to Jurickson Profar. 1-2 now. For Profar, an opportunity to hit lead off. Elvis Andrus the night off. We've got some information if you're thinking about Ian Kinsler. Good news on the injury front for the Rangers second baseman. He went through another full workout today. He has been cleared to go on a rehab assignment.
That's great news.
That will start tomorrow. He'll go to Frisco, AA. He'll DH tomorrow, check swing foul, and then play in the field Friday and Saturday. So at least a couple of games in the field, and then be reevaluated and possibly return as early as Sunday. But more likely sometime during the Oakland foray here into North Texas. Well, that's great news for the Rangers. They could sure use Ian Kinsler back in the lineup. 2-2 down to Profar.
Profar's facing him probably for the first time. Got him to offer that first changeup he threw. First time he'd seen it. And he's seen it a couple of times since then and didn't even begin to swing at it.
Santana flashing the signs out. Now time called. Too much time as far as Profar was concerned. A little bit of a downturn for the young infielder. The topper foul. We commented in Toronto when he really started struggling at the plate. The book on him had gotten around a little bit. All the Toronto pitchers started busting him inside on a consistent basis, and he wasn't able to make the adjustment in Toronto to that. And we'll see what happens here tonight. That target set inside this time, and he got him out of there. Turned on that pitch and hit it right over his right shoulder.
If you look at Jimenez and his ERA, it's 5.03, but he had 2 starts early in April where he pitched a total of 6 innings and gave up 14 runs. And even though you can't do this, if you did take those 2 starts away, his ERA in 10 starts is 3.33. For the most part, he's been pretty solid.
Well, a 9-pitch at bat, and Jurickson Profar on the 9th pitch rounds out to second base. Now David Murphy coming up, and here's why we're still scoreless.
Well, David gets a good read on the ball. It takes a perfect hop to him, and the best way to throw out a runner at the plate is throw it all the way in the air. And he did it. Got a guy on second with excellent speed with 2 outs. As soon as the ball is put in play, he's off running. AJ blocks the plate, takes the collision, and one more time, the Ranger outfielder guns down a runner. Perfect ball to throw on. It bounces right straight into his glove, and David, as he does so often, makes a very accurate throw.
Oh, Michael Bourne, a dead duck at home plate, or a dead Indian, whichever one you want to look at it. 1-1 the count to Murph. That is just outside. It's 2 balls and a strike. David at 216. Like that double in his last time up last night. 3 out of 8 career-wise against Jimenez. A rip and a miss. It's 2-2. Laz Diaz, by the way, calling the balls and strikes tonight. Generally, pretty much a pitcher's umpire. He'll have a wide strike zone. Fouled away, and the count remains 2-2. Take a look at the Indian defense tonight. Brantley, Bourne, and Stubbs left, center, and right. Swisher at first, Giptus and Aviles up the middle. Reynolds, the third baseman, Santana catching, and Ubaldo Jimenez is on the hill. 2 hopper out to Giptus. 2 gone in the Ranger first for Lance Berkman.
If you look at Jimenez's last 2 starts, they couldn't be more different. 2 starts ago, it was 8 innings against Tampa Bay. Didn't give up an earned run in that game. His last start at Detroit, he only pitched 3 innings and threw 85 pitches. So there's been 3 or 4 really bad starts for him this year, where he's had no command, not many innings pitched, a lot of pitches, a lot of runs. But more often than not, he's pitched well, and you can see why. He's got a pretty good fastball, not what it used to be, but still into the 90s, and a really good changeup. Plus that delivery, I think, gives some deception to his pitch.
Yep. A lot of elbows and kneecaps coming at you.
Yeah, tough to pick the ball up if you're a hitter.
Berkman takes the pitch low. Lance hitting at 270. 5 home runs, 31 driven in. So the last 8 ball games for Lance, very uncharacteristic. 9 strikeouts. Takes that pitch outside, and the count moves to 2-1. Berkman up there from the left side, the switch hitter against the right-hander Ubaldo Jimenez. Way inside, almost got Lance, and it moves the count to 3-1. No, with 2 outs, Berkman trying to get aboard here in the first inning. Adrian Beltre will be next. Jimenez to the wind, the 3-1. Slow ball 4. Well, Berkman draws the walk.
Is that the kind of delivery that if you watched him pitch, you would expect him to have command problems?
Yeah, I'd expect
a lot of things going on.
Yeah, a lot. And the problem is, Tom, when he throws, and you watch him from the stretch now, it'll be a different motion. And when you have a guy that throws differently from the stretch and the windup, you're going to have control problems because, say 3/4 of your deliveries on a good day are from the windup. Well, the other 25% are a problem from the stretch. And if you go 50-50, and then it confuses you. But yeah, I think there's a lot of moving parts that are pretty tough to sync up for Jimenez in his delivery. 1-0 the count to Beltre. Pitch outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Adrian dropped down under the 300 level, 299. Walks leaders, active hitters in the walk department. Ground ball to short. The short way to second. Kipnis handles a throw, and Rangers are gone. No runs, no hits. The Walker left stranded. After 1 in Arlington, Rangers nothing, Indians nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Rangers ballpark in Arlington tonight. This will be a crowd in the neighborhood of 33,000. Checking out the rubber game of this 3-game series is Carlos Santana. Leads off the top of the second inning. Scoreless ball game. Santana, 284 with the average. Good on-base percentage for the switch-hitting Cleveland Indian. Catcher, first baseman, DH. And with Jan Gomes on the ball club this year, getting more time off from behind the plate. And Indians really feel that's going to benefit Santana later on in the season. Jerks another pitch foul down the right side. No balls and 2 strikes.
I mentioned Santana yesterday. He's a guy that's averaged 93, 94 walks first 2 full seasons in the big leagues. Don't see many young hitters average over 90 walks in a season. Started out his first full season, he hit in the 230s. Last year it was the 250s. Now it's the 280s. And the way he's swinging right now, it looked like he's capable of hitting higher than that.
Apparently he broke his shin guard. Take that thing off.
Well, now's right at the time where you're going to drill one right down where you wish you had it, I guess.
Good hard slider in. If you're Nick Tepesch, you can get one down there and see if he's willing to turn on it. Yeah, he is. Okay. Still 0-2 to Santana. Santana to be followed by Reynolds and Giambi. Nick Tepesch gave up a couple of hits in the first, but Indians thwarted by David Murphy's great throw. Changeup floats outside. That makes it a ball and 2 strikes to Santana. Rangers in that overshift, the only player on the left side, and Adrian Beltre, he's playing shortstop. Got him swinging. Good breaking ball from Tepesch, who records his first strikeout. One away from Mark Reynolds.
He can throw the slider and then the curveball. And if you've seen a couple of sliders, the way that curveball breaks straight down definitely fooled Santana. I think he thought he might have been on this pitch until right here. And you see the bottom just drop out of it. It ends up almost on the ground when AJ catches it. Good pitch.
No, it looked like he swung at that like he thought it was a slider.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too.
And maybe the spin on the ball, you picked that up and figured, well, you haven't seen the curveball before. Seen the slider.
I think if you've seen a couple sliders and then he throws that curveball, you basically don't have a chance until you've seen it. And you realize, oh, he's got 2 separate pitches. I'm going to have to be a little more alert.
Mark Reynolds, the hitter. 0-1 the count to him. Tepesch back to the plate. Pretty good hard sinker right there. It's 0-2. So Tepesch coming out here firing strikes in the second inning.
Now, Nick's last outing, we talked about it a little bit. It was in Toronto. He pitched 7 innings. He gave up 5 hits and 6 runs. He had a 4-run inning where it just kind of came apart for him a little bit. But early in that game, first 6 innings, he given up a home run, I think, 1 run. And he was 5 innings. He was just terrific. He had a good fastball, had a bunch of strikeouts early in the game. Really good stuff in that game.
Pitch is low and outside. Count is 2-2.
He's also pitched well at home. He likes pitching in this ballpark. He's had 5 of his 11 starts here, and his ERA at home is 2.67.
Tepesch back to the plate and missed low and away. So it's gone from 0-2 to 3-2 to Reynolds. Reynolds trying to get aboard with 1 out. Jason Giambi, the designated hitter, will be next. There's the 42-year-old veteran. Tepesch with a payoff pitch. Popped him up. Third base side, foul territory. Beltre coming over the wind, really playing havoc. Adrian staying with it nicely.
Those look simple, but when you've got a lot of wind up there, you're not exactly sure what's going to happen to the ball. It makes you a little bit nervous, even if you are Adrian Beltre.
Well, 2 outs, Giambi coming up. Let's go over and say hello to Jim Nutt.
I appreciate it, Buzz. Great crowd on hand. Girls night out for these ladies here, having a good time. Community Corner tonight. We're talking about the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation joining forces with Matthew McConaughey's Just Keep Living Foundation. And what they do is support 3 programs in North Texas to help kids live healthy. To find out more, log on to TexasRangers.com/foundation. You can also meet Matthew McConaughey June 29th. How about that, guys, huh? We like that. All right, Buzz.
All right, Noxie, thank you. Jason Giambi up there, the count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Giambi, a 192 hitter. And ripping a miss. And that pitch working its way down and in. 1-2.
Well, that was the slider down and in. Santana saw the curveball down and in for strike 3.
And the curveball this time bit Giambi on the back leg, it looked like. Well, the hit batter. Down to first goes Giambi. Mike Aviles now will come up.
That's the pitch that hurt him in the Toronto game. Leading off the 6th inning, Munenori Kawasaki, 210 hitter, had the same thing happen, and that just led to a big, huge inning. 2 outs now, not quite the same thing. Same type of a pitch, though, trying to bury that pitch down and in. Just got a little too far inside.
Well, here's Aviles hitting 273. And the first pitch outside to him. Aviles, the everyday shortstop now, with Asdrubal Cabrera on the disabled list for the Tribe. Aviles came over in November of this past offseason. Way outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, Tepish, after hitting Giambi with that breaking ball, now has thrown a couple of pitches to Aviles in just about the same location. First base side of home plate, off the first base side of home plate. 2-0 the count. That ball's hammered to left field. That's not going to stay in the ballpark. Way out of here, and Aviles puts the Tribe up 2-0. A little deja vu all over again, like Toronto. The hit batsman immediately led to trouble.
That's too bad, because he's got Giambi 0-2 and hit him with the breaking ball, and then he gets behind 2-0 to Aviles. Tried to make good pitches with his slider. 2-0, he threw the slider right down the middle of the plate. Hanging slider, and Aviles jumped all over it. Not where he's trying to throw it. Should be pretty much in the center square, even better, just a little bit inside of the center square.
So the Indians with a 2-0 lead. And here is Drew Stubbs now, the number 9 man. Stubbs, a 235 hitter. And a ground ball on 2 hops. Out to Profar. That will do it. But the horse got out of the barn, and a hit batter and a 2-run home run by Aviles will go to the bottom of the 2nd. Cleveland on top, 2-0. appropriate since tonight is dollar hot dog night. What do you put on your dollar hot dog? We'll get back to that in just a second as A.J. Brzezinski takes strike one. Mustard, ketchup, mayo, or nothing. Hashtag FS Mustard if that's what you put on him. Brzezinski drills one down the right side, but that's Hook's foul. And the count moves to 0-2. Anyway, go to Twitter and give us your opinion on what the proper condiments are for your dollar hot dog. 1 ball, 2 strikes. AJ, that batting average all the way up to 310 now with 5 home runs, 17 driven in. Topper over the mound, charging is Aviles near the bag. Throws out Brzezinski, 1 away. Now Nelly Cruz coming up. Well, the Rangers announced they've signed their 3rd round pick in this year's draft. Right-handed pitcher David Ledbetter. And the Rangers now have signed all of their top 10 picks and 12 of their top 13 picks. So it's been pretty quick, rapid-fire succession of guys signing. That's good to see.
Well, since they've gone to the slotting of the players, which pretty much dictates the limit that you can give a player, there's ways of maneuvering through it, but it still has made it, I think, a lot easier to sign your players quickly. But you can tell from talking to the Ranger personnel that they're very happy with the draft. Number one, happy to be signing them, but I guess more than that, happy with the quality of the players they got.
Cruz takes a fastball for a strike. It's 1-2. Nelly at 262 with the average. He has 15 home runs, 43 RBI. Both those numbers tops on the Rangers. Jimenez back to the plate. Got away with one there. I think Nelly'd like to have another rip at that fastball. Still 1-2. Off speed, just off the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jimenez, a 29-year-old, spent a lot of time with the Colorado Rockies. Had some great years up there. Threw a no-hitter back in 2010 with the Rockies. Won in 19 games that year. He was the starter in the 2010 All-Star game in the National League. And since then has really not been able to put it back together as efficiently.
He had 2 years back-to-back that were excellent years. When Cleveland got him, they obviously were trying to get a number 1 starter, dominating number 1 starter. They gave up a number of good young prospects to get him. And you're right, he just hasn't quite put it together as an Indian as of yet.
Check swing, pitch outside, the appeal, no swing. Tim Timmons, and Nelly Cruz draws a 1-out walk. A second free pass issued by Jimenez tonight. 1 on, 1 out. Jeff Baker coming to the plate.
Mentioned his last game. He pitched 3 innings against the Tigers. 5 runs, 3 earned, 3 walks, 85 pitches in 3 innings. Rangers are a patient hitting team. Generally, they make the starting pitcher throw a lot of pitches. It'll be interesting to watch how his pitch total adds up today.
Baker takes a strike. It's 0-1. Jeff at 333 for the season. 9 home runs, 16 driven in. All of that in 78 at bats. And strike 2. Cruz, the runner at first, 1 out as he establishes his lead over there. Got him swinging. Up the ladder, Jimenez. And he gets the strike out of Baker. That's the first punch out for Ubaldo Jimenez tonight. 2 gone. Chris McGinnis coming up. McGinnis, the left-hander hitting first baseman for the Rangers. First pitch to him is low and inside for ball one. McGinnis hitting a 167. Both of his hits in that game in Toronto. He had an RBI double, driving in his first run of his major league career. Lofts this one high in the air down the left field line. That will twist back into the seats, out of play. And the count moves to a ball and a strike. Look at the defensive alignment. Infield maybe shading around to the right a step or two. Outfield just the opposite direction. Knee-high strike. It's now 1-2. And McGinnis getting his first look at Ubaldo Jimenez. And that can't be a very comfortable thing the first time around. Got him swinging. Santana will have to make the throw to first. He does. And that will do it. So back-to-back strikeouts in the Rangers' second inning. They stand their second runner. We're going to the third. It's Cleveland 2, Texas nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. $11 with new low yearly prices. Watch every out-of-market game live on over 350 at close play at first base. And safely aboard is Michael Bourne. We'll get back to MLB.TV in just a second. Michael Bourne, a great effort by Jurickson Profar, but Bourne's speed just too much to expect the young man to throw him out.
I think if you look at how close this play is, you can see what a great play it is by Profar to make it a close play with Bourne running. He almost threw him out on that play. As far as he had to go and turn, saw the athletic ability and the arm strength, he almost threw him out. I didn't think he'd even have a prayer of throwing him out on that play.
Pitch to Kipnis is low for ball one.
Got a few birthdays to get to here in the top of the third. First, June Trice from Shawnee, Kansas, longtime Hearst resident, is 88 years old today. Happy birthday, June.
Get this, a fly ball to left, his first time to the plate. And a breaking ball settles in low. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Olive Collier from the West Side campus of Care in Fort Worth is 91 today. Happy birthday, Olive. Don Miller from Drop, Texas, is 84. Joe Edith Brown from Corsicana is 85.
Foul back.
Thank you for the foul ball, Jason. Walter Edward Smithy from Stonewall, Texas is 85. And Bernie Sanderson from Edmond, Oklahoma is 91. She comes from a huge baseball family. And they say Bernie knows baseball.
I believe
And
that.
she's 91 years old, and I don't doubt it. So happy birthday, Bernie, and all the rest of our birthday people today. Bernie, Walter, Joe Edith, Don, June, and Olive. Boy, I see some towns in Texas I've never seen or heard of before. Don Miller, Drop, Texas.
Drop, Texas.
You ever heard of Drop?
I have now. Yep, there's a little looper in the left field. That's going to fall for a hit. Bourne will check in at second and get this aboard. And all of a sudden, an infield single, a little Texas leaguer. And the Indians have 2 aboard, nobody out. In the middle of the order coming up. And it's time for a Mazda game break. Let's go to John Radigan. All right, thank you, John. 2 on, nobody out. Indians leading 2-0 here in the top of the third, and they are looking for more. Nick Swisher up there. Michael Bourne at second. Jason Kipnis at first. Swisher, a ground ball to first back in the first inning. Tepish with the offering. Rip and a miss on the breaking ball.
One more birthday, Buzz, that I forgot. George Harry will be 90 years old. He's from Mountain Home, Arkansas.
Fastball for a strike.
He'll actually be 90 tomorrow. Wanted the shout out today. Happy birthday.
Oh, 0-2, the count to Swisher. Tepish, a check of the runners. And misses low. Good sinking fastball. Trying to get Swisher to roll over on one and get a double play. The Indians do not ground into many double plays. They're only 39 this year. That contrasts with 52 that the Rangers hit into. Krasinski with a series of signs, and Tepish ready to work. Got him swinging. Pulled the string on the breaking ball, the big curveball, and he gets his second strikeout. One big out here, and now Michael Brantley coming up.
Oh, it's the same pitch he got the strikeout with before. Good curveball, good overhand curveball. Swisher swings over the top of it, just like Carlos Santana did.
Now Michael Brantley at the plate. Brantley was the one that lined the left field, and David Murphy came up and threw Michael Bourne out at the plate in the Indian first inning. Well, Brantley 1 for 1. That batting average now at .289. And he takes off the plate inside for ball 1. Brantley against the left-hander Derek Holland last night, hitting down in the 7th spot. Tonight moving back up to the cleanup spot for Terry Francona's club. The 1-0. Ground ball right field. That's a base hit. Bourne waved around. The throw is going to third. It's cut off. Bourne scores. On to third goes Kipnis. And the Indians have a 3-0 lead as Michael Brantley drives in his 27th run of the year.
Well, they haven't really hit a ball hard. Bourne had an infield hit. Kipnis blooped one into left field, and Brantley just rolled one exactly between second and first. None of the balls have been hit that hard, but they find themselves with first and third, one out, and another run in.
Mike Maddox out to talk to Nick Tepish and A.J. Przinsky. Just reminding him who you're going to work with now. Ball hit back to you, and which in middle infield you're going to throw it to. Got a runner at third, Jason Kipnis, and forward first is Brantley. They have good speed. They'll keep the ball down, get a double play, and we'll get back to the dugout real fast. And Carlos Santana is the hitter. Santana went down swinging his first time up there. So the Indians kind of picking up where they left off last night. 6 more hits. Last night they had 11 hits, scoring their 5 runs. And Santana takes that big, slow curveball. It's in for strike 1. Tepish, a long look in. Now the right-hander's ready. Fastball that just missed the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tepish trying to put the lid on this inning. He will go first base way to drive Brantley back. Kipnis, the runner at third, inching down the line. Tepish sets, and the pitch is chopped foul. No, he's ahead of Santana now at 1-2. Santana, switch hitter, but see, he's got that 4-game hitting streak. 1 hit over a hit per game. But he's hitting better against left-handed pitching this year. 303 the average against left-handers. Against right-handers, hitting 273. Tepish ready and back to the plate. High fly ball down the right side. Cruz next to the wall. That's going to be back about 5 rows out of play. And we'll come back and try it again. Santana very quick on that inside pitch. Brzezinski coming back behind the plate after having said a few words to Nick Tepish. Still a ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Nick, a check of the runners. Yeah, fastball is just low. 2-2. Tepish being tested in the last 2 innings. Trying to find the answer. He will drive Brantley back.
Well, one thing would help him for sure is a ground ball to second, turn a double play, and put this inning to an end.
Santana waiting. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. The appeal down to third. And the Rangers get the call from Mark Wegner. Santana strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. There are now 2 gone, and Mark Reynolds coming up.
No, big strikeout. You're already down by 3 runs. You got a man on third and 1 out, and the Indians' best hitter at the plate. So that's a big strikeout. Got to finish it off right here and get Reynolds and limit the damage to 1 run this inning. Make it a little bit easier for the Ranger offense to get back in the ball game.
Reynolds fouled out to Adrian Beltre his first time. It's a fastball off the plate inside for ball 1. Mark Reynolds, the team leader in the power categories. Home runs 13, RBI 42. And he sends this one to fairly deep left field. Murphy going back over. Lost it for just a second, so he had to check Riveranos Martin, but Murphy covers, and that'll do it. Tribe scores another run, however, on 3 hits they lead to. After 2.5, Cleveland 3, Texas nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Leonis Martin leading off in the Ranger third. Texas trailing by 3 to the drive and to Ubaldo Jimenez. Martin, the number 9 hitter, hitting at 254. The time called. As Las Diaz scooting out from behind the catcher. Wait a minute here. Let everybody get set. Now they're ready. 0-1 pitch. And that's low and inside. Leonis 2 home runs and 9 driven in. Rangers still looking for their first base hit of the evening off of Jimenez. A rip and a miss. Off speed pitch. Leonis came on as a pinch hitter last night. Didn't get the start against the right-hander. First time in quite a while that he hasn't. Came on and flied out as a pinch hitter. Fouls his next pitch back, and it's still a ball and 2 strikes. The menace to the wind. And the pitch is hit high in the air to deep right field. Going back is Stubbs. He's at the wall. Goodbye. Leonis Martin goes yard against Ubaldo Jimenez. And it's now a 3-1 Indian lead.
It looked like he got the changeup. Stayed belt high instead of down where he wanted it. Swung and missed at one that was down and out of the strike zone. This one stays about belt high and right down the middle of the plate. And that's what can happen to it when you throw it in that spot.
Now Jurickson Profar shows bunt, takes the first pitch up high for ball 1. 400 feet off the bat of Leonis Martin. Off speed, that's inside. It's 2-0 to Profar. So Leonis, 3 home runs now and 10 driven in. He was in a 1 for 19 prior to that swing. That'll get you out in a hurry. Fastball strike, it's 2-1. Profar, a ground ball to second as he led things off tonight. Getting a chance to hit in that leadoff spot. Elvis Andrus, the night off, and in case you missed it, Ian Kinsler cleared to go out on a rehab assignment starting tomorrow. A pitch outside. They play in Frisco for at least 3 days. They're going to leave it open, but he'll DH tomorrow night and then play in the field on Friday and Saturday, and they'll reevaluate after that game Saturday. 3-2 now as Jurickson taking all the way. And the news on the injury front as far as Mitch Moreland is concerned is all positive. He's been able to ramp up his baseball activities, doing a lot of fielding, and he expects to be ready a week from Friday when he's eligible to come off the DL. Profar, a line drive base hit to right field.
Well, that was good at bat for Jurickson. I love it when you're down by a couple of runs, there's nobody out, you've got a 3-1 count. You don't just wail away at anything close. He took it all the way. Knows Jimenez has a little bit of a problem walking people. So it's 3-2. You know he doesn't want to walk. It's going to be a fastball. So he got his fastball to hit and ripped it into right field. So a patient at bat turns out to be a good at bat.
Yeah. Well, the Rangers, a home run and now a base hit. And David Murphy comes to the plate representing the tying run here in the 3rd inning. Murph, a ground ball to second in the 1st inning. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. David, 8 home runs, 27 driven in. He's in one of those runs where when he gets a hit, he goes for extra bases. 4 hits in his last 29 at bats. They've all been for extra bases. Unfortunately for David, he just hasn't had enough of those, whether it be extra bases or not, to suit him or Jimenez back to the plate. Blowing outside. It's 2 balls and a strike. One thing about Murphy, though, on the Cleveland Indians, David's always liked hitting against them. Go back over the last 2 years plus, he's hit .403 against Cleveland pitching. 2-1 pitch instead is a toss to first, and Profar back with a dive. Murphy waiting, hitting out of that wide open stance, and Jimenez reading the signs, the right-hander. A low set comes to the plate. 3 balls and a strike. Now, this might be that inning where the Rangers can go ahead and let Jimenez get himself into trouble.
This is kind of the same position Profar was in. It's 3-1. If you swing here, you've got to make sure it's a good pitch. Don't swing at the changeup. Look for a fastball.
Double play ground ball. Davis turns it over. There's what you're talking about, Tom.
Yep. You didn't want to see the double play. David, it looked like he tried to pull the pitch. It was out over the plate. Instead of his strength is driving that pitch to left center field. Ball's tailing away from him on the outside corner. When you try to pull it, you do the pitcher a favor.
So the 1-out single to Profar erased, or I should say the no-out single erased. Now bases empty and 2 outs for Lance Berkman. He takes strike 1. Berkman drew a walk in the first inning. That's something that Lance has continued to do despite not getting his share of base hits lately. Berkman 9th in the American League still with 33 walks. And one more tonight, getting 34. Jimenez 0-2 pitch. To right center field. Long run over there. Stubbs stopped. He thought he heard Bourne, and Berkman is on with a single. Stubbs racing over. Plenty of time to get there. And for a guy who played center field last night, might have decided I'll pull up because the center fielder takes precedent. But Bourne hadn't gone that far either.
Yeah, the right fielder or the left fielder generally just keeps going until he's called off. Either one of them could have caught the ball. The ball was a lot closer to Stubbs. And I don't know if Bourne said anything or not. He's actually pointing to Stubbs. He might have said something like, you know, you take it. And
yeah.
Stubbs is hearing, I've got it. You know, you don't know for sure. But both of them have great speed, and neither one of them could have caught it. Well, fortunately, neither one of them did. Rangers still alive here.
Now an opportunity here to do something after it looked like the inning would be over. Adrian Beltre to the plate, and Beltre grounded into a fielder's choice in the first inning. Well, Adrian now 0 for his last 8 times to the plate. That after he had that 14-game hitting streak stopped. 0-1 the count. And the pitch just a bit low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Adrian, back over the long haul, the last month of play, he was hitting .241 27 games ago. And he's hit .373 to get that average up to .298 is where it stands right now. In the dirt, nice block by Santana. 2 balls and a strike. Well, the Rangers, if nothing else, have made Jimenez throw a lot of pitches this inning.
Yeah, that's with a double play, too.
Yeah. The 2-1. 3 balls and a strike. Jimenez again falling behind. Beltre trying to extend the inning. A.J. Pierzynski waiting in the on-deck circle, hoping to have a shot at Jimenez here. Off speed, that catches the outside corner, and the count is full. So with 2 outs now, Berkman will be off and moving with the next Jimenez offering. Jimenez sets. Berkman on the move, payoff pitch. Fouled at the plate, and that got a piece of Laz Diaz, who's going to hop around a little bit. And Carlos Santana will go out and give Diaz a minute to let that thing stop hurting.
He's telling Adrian, hit the ball out there, don't hit it off me. That's the same thing Adrian would be saying to somebody.
Yep.
Adrian loves that kind of banter back and forth.
Oh, boy.
Pinball machine.
Yeah, it did. You're exactly right. The bad part about that, you don't know which one to hobble on first.
Well, you kind of limped on both of them, I guess.
So still 3-2. We'll reset and do it again. Berkman on the move. The payoff pitch is way outside. Ball 4. Well, that puts the tying runs aboard for A.J. Pierzynski.
Well, would love to take advantage of the fly ball that fell in right field. Got a guy up here who's swinging a hot bat right now. Pitcher who's struggling.
Now A.J. grounded to short his first time up. 308 the average for Pierzynski. 3 out of 13 lifetime against Jimenez. Now time called, and Santana, the catcher, was the one that asked for time on that occasion. AJ, a 6-game hitting streak coming into this play tonight. He gets fisted on the first pitch, and he grounds out to Swisher at first base. Side retired. They do get a run on Leonys Martin's leadoff home run. 2 are left. We're going to the 4th. 3-1 Cleveland. Is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer and by Jack in the Box. The Rangers able to get on the scoreboard, but left a couple out on the base paths. 3-1 the score as Jason Giambi leads things off here in the 4th inning against Nick Tepesch. Giambi hit by a pitch and came around to score an Aviles home run. That was back in the 2nd inning.
We mentioned it at the time. It was the 2nd straight game where a hit batter really cost Nick.
And Nick trying to get back into the groove, keep the ball game at a 3-1 deficit. Giambi fouls it out of play to the left. It's still 0-2. That game you were talking about, Tom, last Friday in Toronto. Tepish retired the first 9 Blue Jays that he faced, and a leadoff home run in the 4th by Milky Cabrera. That's pulled hard but foul down the right side. Then he recovered from that and got into the 6th inning, and the leadoff man, Munenori Kawasaki, hit by that pitch you were talking about, that breaking ball. And that was the first of 4 consecutive Blue Jays that reached. They scored 4 in that inning, and that was all she wrote. A ball and 2 strikes to Giambi. Now 2-2. Yanked foul again down the right side, just past the Rangers dugout, and ricochets back out on the field. Really got to be heads up down there when you have a guy like Giambi. The ball gets in there pretty quick. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming, and it hit him again. Fastball inside, and Giambi, the 2nd straight time, is hit by a Tepish offering. This time was a fastball that stayed in there.
He's got the padding on his arm, so he's not going to go out of his way to try to get out of the way. He just kind of turns a little bit, catches him on the pad.
The 1-on, nobody out. Mike Aviles, who cranked his 4th home run of the year into the left field bleachers. Standing at home plate now. And the first pitch outside.
Yeah, one thing, Nick's not locating his fastball well today. Best pitch has been his curveball. And generally, Nick locating that fastball is getting a lot of ground balls. Pitch count's not what it is. 7 innings. In Toronto, his pitch count was in the 80s.
That ball's a rocket to left, but right there's David Murphy. Makes the catch. Back to first goes Giambi. Aviles might have hit that one harder than he hit his home run.
And he just didn't get that one up in the air, fortunately.
Well, 1 away, Drew Stubbs coming up. Let's say hello to Jim Knox again, Jim.
All right, Buzz, you know it's the vacation season right here. We got a family reunion in the house tonight. Jorge, what's this all about?
We're here to support our favorite team, the Texas Rangers, 21 strong, all the way from Lubbock, San Antonio, the Rio Grande Valley. And you know what? I've been studying my favorite player, Adrian Beltre. This is the way he bets. Ready? Here we go.
Yeah. Let me see that one more time.
One more time. All right, here we go. Watch the feet. You gotta watch the feet. Gotta watch the feet.
Guy out of the way. Let's see the feet. All right, go. There we go. I like it. Okay, you got Adrian. Okay, good to have you guys in the house. Thank you, guys. Go, yeah, go Rangers. There we go, Buzz.
Thanks, Knoxy. That's pretty good imitation right there. Stubbs takes the pitch inside. That evens the count now. A ball and a strike. Stubbs, a ground ball to short back in the 2nd inning. Giambi at first, 1 out in the top of the 4th. That's sliced down the right side and will go back into the seats out of play. And the count moves to 1-2. Tepish trying to work around the hit batter in this inning. Stubbs this year hitting just .215 against right-handed pitchers. Got him swinging. Good breaking ball. And that is strikeout number 4 for Nick Tepish. 2 gone. Back to the top of the order for Michael Bourne.
There's the curveball again. Well, Nick has been tough on right-hand hitters, so that's a bad combination for Stubbs.
Yeah.
Nick's given up a .214 batting average to right-hand hitters. Let's see, today, Aviles had the home run. He's a right-hand hitter. I think all the other hits were by left-hand hitters.
Michael Bourne has 2 of those hits. Singled in the 1st, singled in the 3rd. Well, that season average now back up over the 300 mark. 303, as you see. 1-0 pitch. Good fastball to the outside corner.
One of those games where Nick is battling. He's hanging in there, making good pitches to get out of some innings. Been hurt by one hanging slider, cost him 2 runs.
And this ground ball to second. Up with it, Baker on to first. That will do it. So the leadoff hit batter, Jason Giambi, left stranded. We're going to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's the Indians 3, the Rangers 1. Fox Sports Southwest.
As has been mentioned throughout the broadcast, Ian Kinsler set to begin a rehab assignment tomorrow. He's trying to keep a sense of humor while on the DL.
It's like a soap opera. You have to stay tuned.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see who wins out, but in my world, I'm going to predict myself. We'll see how everything plays out, but hopefully, today I'll get out there for batting practice and do some extra stuff, and hopefully be out of here tomorrow. I'll be in Frisco tomorrow.
Ian battling with Wash. He did win out. He will begin the rehab assignment tomorrow in Frisco. I asked him which is going to beat out, if he's going to play baseball or if I'm going to have a baby first. And he said he's putting his money on himself playing a Major League Baseball game before I give birth to my second child. So we'll see how that works out, fellas.
You could throw a big wrench in that whole works. You've got pretty much in your own hands, I think.
Yeah, she's got a mind of her own in there, I've learned. So we'll see what happens. But here's hoping Ian plays baseball before I give birth to this child.
Well, both are going to be done successfully. I know that. Kelly Cruz chops a pitch foul, and the count now is 3-2.
Well, he helped him out a little bit right there. 3-1. Not a real good pitch. Looked like it was tailing inside. Had good movement on it.
Now, Jimenez, the last couple of innings, has shown the inclination to get himself in trouble. Rangers haven't allowed that yet. It's fouled back.
Rangers helped him out a little bit. David swung at that 3-1 pitch. Might have been a strike, but it was tailing away from him. He hit it off the end of the bat to second base. 3-1 pitch to Nelly. Could have been ball 4. He's still hanging in there at 3-2.
Again, the payoff pitch. Got him swinging. Off-speed pitch up high, and Cruz is down on strikes. Third strikeout of the night for Waldo Jimenez. Well, folks, we'd like to invite you to tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Southwest for Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. And that is an experience right there. Young lady's got herself a Whole bag full of cotton candy. Jeff Baker, who went down swinging his first time up, takes a strike. It's 0-1. Baker currently hitting at .329 as Jimenez comes back to him. And Baker pops it up. Foul territory. Swisher, the first baseman there. There are 2 outs. So Jeff 0 for 2 as he makes that right-hand turn, heads back to the Ranger dugout. Now Chris McGinnis will come up. Baldo Jimenez wants a new baseball to work with. McGinnis out on strikes. Back in the 2nd inning. Chris, as I'm sure most of you know, the story, a Rule 5 draft pick by the Indians this past offseason. Went to spring training with Cleveland. And Cleveland, to keep him, had to keep him on the big league roster all year. And they were not going to do that, so they offered him back to the Rangers at the end of spring training, and Rangers said certainly will take him back.
Yeah, it boiled down to whether they wanted to keep a younger guy, Chris McGinnis, or a veteran guy, Jason Giambi, and they chose the veteran leadership that Giambi offered. I think they're hoping to be a contender. They want someone off the bench, someone in the clubhouse that provides that kind of leadership, and so they went in that direction.
1-2 pitch, call strike 3. Come back fastball, got the inside corner. And Jimenez for the first time tonight sends the Rangers down in order. Going to the 5th inning, it's 3-1 Cleveland. Top of the 5th inning. Joining us now, co-host of Rangers Live. No sooner do I get it out of my mouth that Mark McLemore has joined us, and Jason Kipnis. It's the first pitch of the 5th inning into the lower home run porch, and the second home run of the night against Nick Tepesch. It's now 4-1 Cleveland. How was that for an introduction?
It looked a lot like the ball that AJ hit last night. Fastball down inside part of the plate. He just golfed at almost the same spot AJ hit his. Yeah, it's a little higher than AJ's maybe.
Well, I didn't get the full introduction out, so I won't put that on your record, Mac.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mark McLemore, the co-host of Rangers Live, before and after our telecast, joining us as he always does. You want to go back out and come in again?
I think I should. I think I should.
Well, there you go. Okay. Start over. Swisher.
There we go.
Grounds out his counterpart. So a home run and a ground out. We are underway here in the 5th inning, and nice to have you along, but not a whole lot to talk about so far on the positive side of things.
No, not yet. Not yet. Looks like Tepish is getting the same amount of run support that he's been getting the last few outings right now. One run.
Yeah, and that's, for a rookie, well, for most pitchers it's difficult, but I think for a rookie you start pressing a little bit, and now that you played with guys, you've seen how they handle things, and you can just kind of feel the nerves starting to knot up on a young pitcher in particular when you're not scoring any runs for him. Pitch inside to Michael Brantley, who's 2 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of that same feeling, when you've got a pitcher that is going to go out and give up 4, 5, 6 runs. As an offense, you start thinking, well, we've got to go out and we've got to score 7, 8, 9 runs in order to get a win. So it's got to be the same feeling for a pitcher.
Yep. Now Tepish about ready to throw his 80th pitch of the night. A very warm evening. And the right-hander comes back to the plate. It shot foul down the left side.
Nice play down there. It looked like the doctor of defense going after that ball.
There you go.
Wow, one of the better plays of the night. Trying to act like, hey, I've done that before.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Outside, 3-2 now.
Check this play out.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I didn't bring my glove for nothing.
He even knows how to play the tarp. And ball 4. So Brantley works a 1-out walk, and Carlos Santana will be next. And Mike Maddox checking the pitch count clicker that he's got in his hand. Tepish trying to right the ship here very quickly in the 5th inning. Carlos Santana tonight has struck out both times that he has faced Nick Tepish. 281 the average for the Cleveland catcher. 1-0. And we're going to get some action just about ready to begin out in the Ranger bullpen. A little stirring around out there. Tepish will go first base way to drive Brantley back.
Buzz, how much more do you think teams rely on the pitch count as opposed to when you pitch? It seemed as though when I played, you really relied on what the pitcher looked like, what you thought. He was either out of gas or he wasn't. He could go some more.
Yep. That's going to be trouble being waved around third. Here comes Brantley. There will be no relay throw. And a double by Santana plates Michael Brantley, and the Indians take a 5-1 lead. As soon as we see the replay of that, I will answer your question, Mac.
Santana got a pretty good pitch to hit out over the plate. Takes a good rip up there, boy. Getting better and better as a hitter.
Yep.
Nick had gotten him a couple of times tonight, struck him out twice. That time he got a good pitch to hit and hit it pretty well.
To answer your question, Mac, my opinion is that hitters will always tell a pitcher when he's thrown too many pitches. It's never a secret. It gets real loud out there. There's a lot of wood meeting cowhide. And Jason Frazier's starting to get loose. That's no secret. And, I think good pitching coaches, good managers who rely on good pitching coaches can look at a guy and say, oh, okay, he's all right. Talk to him between innings. Say, nope, he's on his last legs. Whatever the case might be. Pitch counts are a tool that you can use, certainly. But they don't say It's kind of like a radar gun. Radar guns are great tools, but they don't tell you if a guy can pitch or not. You know, when I see a readout on the radar gun says this guy can pitch and this guy can't, I'll believe him. But pitch counts are the same thing. Some days you can throw 140 pitches and be just fine. And other days you throw 20 and it's too many. So I think to answer your question, give me the ability to have somebody look and see what's happening, how a guy is throwing, how hitters are reacting. Make that determination based on what you see and what you hear. Mark Reynolds 0 for 2 tonight. And the pitch low and outside. It's 2 balls and a strike. Nick Tepish, to me, it looks like he's forcing everything now. He's kind of gotten the leadoff home run. Set this inning in a bad light for Nick Tepish. He doesn't believe right now that he has anything that he can get somebody out with consistently.
Yeah, it looks like he's being too careful now.
Yeah, good fastball inside to Reynolds, and he chopped it foul. It's 2-2. That's got to be like a hitter too. You know, the more experience you gain, the more you understand situations and how you as an individual react to them, so you know what to expect from yourself. You know, until a pitcher understands what to expect from himself in given situations, it's hard. It's outside. And the count goes full now to Reynolds. Reynolds has popped up and flied to left field. Santana, the runner at second. 1 out. Couple of runs across here in the 5th inning. And Tepish now will step off the back of the pitching rubber. If you were playing behind Nick Tepish right now, Mac, what would you go to the mound and tell? I know you go to the mound. you would go to the mound. What would you try and tell the young man?
Speed it up.
Okay.
Speed it up. Get your rhythm. Because most pitchers, from what I've seen, tend to get in trouble when they start slowing down.
Right.
You want to keep that nice, crisp pace. And if you go back and look at, when he's doing well, that's what it is, that nice, crisp pace. Get the ball, get the sign, go. Get the ball, get the sign, and go. When pitchers start, getting behind the mound, taking their time, and taking that extra deep breath and looking around and shaking off signs, that's usually when they start getting into trouble. So I would have gone to the mound a while ago, probably after he hit the home run. Keep your rhythm, get the ball and throw it. Let's go.
Great point. Great point. Yeah, that is the truth, too. Here's Giambi, who's been hit twice by a pitch tonight. Active leaders hit by pitch. And Giambi going up a couple more this evening. He's always stood very close to home plate, hands hanging out over it, and daring you to throw inside to him. Where's all that body armor?
I can't imagine that number. I think I've been hit, or was hit 12 times in my career. That's it.
The other guy that they couldn't hit, even if they tried, was Ruben Sierra. I think he got hit something like, you can look it up, like 3 or 4 times in his whole career.
Really?
Yeah, he never got hit. He stepped off the plate, and he was off the plate. He stepped away from the plate.
Giambi hits it right into the middle of the shift, and Profar right there to throw him out. The side retired, but a couple of runs on 2 hits and 1 left. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Rangers now trail 5-1. Friday when the Rangers host the Blue Jays. That's June 14th, by the way, after the game. You'll be treated to a fireworks show set to songs by the American favorite, the Beach Boys. Use the coupon code FIREWORKS at TexasRangers.com for $15 upper reserve seats.
Carla Janeway just looked this up for us, Buzz. Ruben Sierra was up 8,700 times, and he was hit 7 times. 7 times between 1986 and 1990. After that, from 91 to 2006, he never got hit again.
Wow.
It's like trying to hit a moving target.
Drive to left center field, moving to his left, Michael Brantley back in the alley. Makes the catch, and Leonis Martin, who homered his first time, starts the 5th off with a fly ball in the left field. 1 out, and Jurickson Profar coming up.
I remember right Juan didn't get hit very much either. That's why I was surprised to see Alex Rodriguez is the current player that's been hit so many times. Think people hit him because they didn't like him?
Well, since I played with him, yes.
The short answer?
That was a very short answer, yes. I'll leave it right there.
I think it's a good observation.
I think the other one, Juan, he was kind of large, so
Yeah.
I don't think many people wanted to see him coming to the mound.
Profar takes that pitch low, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Jurickson tonight 1 for 2, has that batting average now up to 275 as he faces Jimenez here in the 5th inning. There's a strike. It's 2-1. Elvis Andrus tonight off, so Jurickson Profar gets his 2nd start this year at shortstop. Able to hit in that leadoff spot also this evening. Down low, it's 3-1.
All right, 3-1. I'm betting he doesn't swing at this pitch.
I think that's a very safe bet. Oh,
You should have taken it then.
that's going to stay in the ballpark, though.
I would just go on what he did the last time up.
I'll confess, I was quietly there with you guys. I was quietly there with you guys.
2 out, David Murphy coming up. And a Mazda game break with John Radigan. John? All right, John, thank you. And David Murphy pops it up. Foul territory, Santana the catcher over in front of the Ranger dugout, puts it away, and Rangers go very quickly and quietly, and 7 straight now, sent down by Jimenez. Back next to minutes, we'll get you after the ball game on Rangers Live. All right, to the 6th we go, 5-1 Cleveland. pitcher Robbie Ross. He'll be there on June 18th at the Fort Worth location on Q and Bend Road. Don't miss the chance to win great prizes and meet one of your Texas Rangers at Whataburger. Well, as we go to the sixth inning, Nick Tepesch night is finished, and Jason Frazier has come out of the Ranger bullpen to take over on the hill.
Oh, we keep talking about Jason, how well he's throwing. He's got his ERA down, going to be down in the 2s in a couple more appearances. Velocity's a tick higher. Command is a little bit better and better. Looking good.
And he deals a strike to Mike Aviles.
Buzz, you know that bet I proposed to you that Jurickson was going to take that 3-1 pitch?
Yeah.
That's a good reason why you shouldn't bet. No betting in baseball. People have gotten into a lot of trouble betting on baseball.
You are right about that. And you know what I found out a long time ago about that very subject? I could have bet on the 27 Yankees and lost.
Something would have gone wrong?
Yeah, something would have happened.
Yeah, I hear you.
Babe Ruth would have had a stomach ache or something. So that I got cured of that real fast. 0-2, the count to Aviles. Just outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Aviles a home run and a line drive to left field. So Nick Tepesch in 5 innings of work tonight. 8 hits, 5 runs. They were all earned. A couple of home runs. 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. And Frazier gets a 1-hopper right back to him. A little soft overhand toss. Aviles is retired, 1 away for Drew Stubbs. And let's go to Jim Knox, who I understand has some special guests. Jim.
Exactly right, Buzz. Rangers signed 2 more of their draft picks today, and they kept it in the family. These guys are twins, Ryan and David Ledbetter, out of Cedarville, Ohio, both right-hand pitchers. Now, that's got to be extremely excited, David, knowing that your brother got drafted and you guys are going to be playing on the same organization.
Yes, it's unbelievable. We've been praying for this for a while, so it's a huge blessing both for our family and us to see us both go to the same team.
And Ryan, your mother and father had to be extremely excited as well, knowing you guys, they don't have to cheer for different teams, same organization.
Oh, definitely. They were very excited, and a lot of the prayers were answered, so we were excited to be together.
All right, David, give me a scouting report on your brother, Ryan.
He's got a hard fastball, sits probably 90, 94, but he can reach up there for more digits. Got a nasty hammer, so he'll keep you alive in the box, and then he's got a knuckleball that will shake you in your shoes.
There we go. And Ryan, a scouting report on David.
David will sit 90-94, starter, hits the corners, throws a changeup really effectively, can touch 97. So, I mean, he can throw all his pitches with consistency and confidence. So, he'll be tough to beat.
There we go, guys. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the Rangers organization. Hope to see you in the near future. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
What a great story.
Rangers, so we're excited.
All right, great going, guys. Thank you. Buzz?
All right, Noxie, good stuff.
I know one thing, when they're done playing, hope it's 15 or 20 years from now, there's a couple of kids could be scouts.
Yep.
That was great.
Breaking ball from Frazier. The count is now 2-1 to Drew Stubbs.
Twin brothers, both pitching at the same college, both signing professional contracts with the same organization, on their way to the same minor league team. Great.
You know, for that family,
Love that.
that has to be the all-American dream come true.
It does, boy.
2-1 pitch. Good fastball to the outside corner, 2-2. In case you missed it earlier, the Rangers now, with the announcement, David Ledbetter signing, have signed their top 10 draft picks from this year and 12 of their top 13 picks. So they're well on their way to getting everybody in the fold. 3-2 as Frazier misses low and inside. Stubbs tonight has grounded to short and struck out. Cleveland 5 runs on 8 hits. Rangers 1 run on 3 hits. Neither club has committed an error tonight. Jason Frazier sets and the payoff pitch. A.J. Pierzynski flashing the signs out, and Frazier ready again. In the air, right center field. Moving over is Jonas Martin and calling him off. Nelly Cruz makes the grab. That is out number 2, and it'll bring up Michael Bourne. Now Wendy's presents Now That's Better. How about David Murphy? 3 outfield assists since June 5th, the most in the major leagues. And that after having just 1 outfield assist in the previous 55 games. Now that is definitely better. Wendy's tells you all about that. Two outs. Michael Bourne is 2 for 3 this evening. He chops the first pitch down to McGinnis, who comes in to field the hop. Steps on the bag. It's a very quick and tidy 1-2-3 inning for Jason Frazier. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. The Indians 5, the Rangers 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Slam inning brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $800 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight the Rangers are hitting for Janie McClary from Sulphur Springs. The Ranger hits a grand slam during the inning. Janie McClary of Sulphur Springs will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. In the middle of the order to face Ubaldo Jimenez, Lance Berkman, Adrian Beltre, and A.J. Przinsky.
Yeah, Jimenez has settled down. The last 2 innings, he's retired the Rangers in order and thrown less than 20 pitches. He was on the verge of being out of here with 100 pitches after 4 innings, the way he was going in the 3rd. The double play he got in the 3rd inning really helped his pitch count. That was a time in the 3rd inning where he was really struggling with his command. And, you know, I don't know if he was on the ropes or not, but Rangers had a chance to put some numbers up that inning. Kind of let him off the hook, and last 2 innings he's really settled now.
Yeah, he's retired the last 7 that he's faced. That was after that 2-out walk in the 3rd inning. Lance tonight 1 for 1, takes the pitch inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Berkman at 274. And Berkman had that little base hit into right center field that fell between Stubbs and Bourne. Neither one of them going after the ball. And that could have been a catalyst to a large inning, but not to be. Action beginning left side and right side. Shaw and Hill kill the left-hander. Going for the drive. Outside, ball 4. And Berkman draws his 2nd walk of the night, a leadoff pass here in the 6th inning. So the Rangers need some kind of spark, and maybe that'll be it. Terry Francona looking at the lineup card with all the matchups potentially in front of him.
Yeah, if you're Terry Francona, you're looking for your #1 starter to give you a little bit more with a 5-1 lead than what Jimenez is given right now. He's only given up 1 run. And he's only given up a few hits, but he's thrown so many pitches that, you know, there's a decent chance he's not going to get through the 6th inning.
Beltre takes a knee-high strike. It's 0-1.
When Jimenez pitches his type of game and has good command, he's tough. That herky-jerky motion is tough to pick up. Fastball sneaky. That changeup is really a good pitch for him. Not a simple guy to hit against. Even this year with a 5.03 ERA, his opponent's batting average is .239.
Now Adrian tonight 0 for 1 with a walk. Berkman at first. 0-2 pitch. Loop to right field. That's in for a base hit. Berkman will check in at second. So the first 2 Rangers aboard to start the 6th inning. First time the Rangers have had 2 on base to start an inning. They had a home run and a single in the 3rd inning to start things off.
But you just don't expect to give up a rope on this pitch. The pitch is not a strike. It's out of the strike zone. It's down around the knees. And not only does he hit it, he serves it out there pretty well, too.
Terry Francona to the mound, and Ubaldo Jimenez finished after 5 innings plus 2 hitters here in the 6th. So a pitching change underway with A.J. Pierzynski due at the plate. A couple on, nobody out in the 6th. Rangers trailing by 4. Berkman aboard. Berkman walked. Beltre followed up with a single. And the Ford leaderboard. We'll show you the team leaders for home runs in the American League. The Rangers second behind Baltimore. Baltimore 88, the Rangers 83. And the Indians 77. They are in 4th place. The team that's coming in starting tomorrow, the Toronto Blue Jays, in 3rd with 80. Ubaldo Jimenez finished after 5 innings plus of work, and he has left the bullpen 12 outs to get. And Rich Hill is assigned to at least get the first out in A.J. Pierzynski.
Rich Hill struggled with his command as well. He's walked 12 in 17 innings.
That sweeping breaking ball is outside for ball 1. Well, Hill joined the Indians as a non-roster invite. He was added to the 40-man roster back in early March during spring training. That breaking ball fouled off the other way. And speaking of home runs, AT&T U-verse reverse replay from last night against Joe Smith. And Smith doing was gone maybe before AJ was gone. Pierzynski, his 5th home run of the year.
AJ chose to watch it. The pitcher chose not to watch it. He didn't have to. He just put his head down, kicked the dirt. He knew where that one was going.
Say a few choice words and leave it at that. Ask for another ball from the umpire. 2-1 the count to Pierzynski. 2 aboard. Rangers trailing by 4. Nobody out. Bottom of the 6th inning. Pierzynski pulls one just foul outside first. And we'll come back and try it again at 2-2. Rich Hill, primarily a left-handed specialist, but he's given up just a .250 batting average to left-handers, .371 to right-handers.
Yeah, there's a good chance he won't face Nelly Cruz.
Yeah.
Could be a one-batter appearance for him.
Left-hander sets. And the 2-2 pitch. Outside and low. The count has gone full. No, Pierzynski trying to get aboard. Nelly Cruz waiting in that on-deck circle. Will he hit with the bases full? Berkman at second, Beltre at first. Hill to the plate. Oh, he just missed it.
Might have hung a little bit too much. Stayed in on him just a little bit.
Bourne makes the catch, tagging at second. Going for third is Berkman. He's in there with a head-first slide. First and third now with 1 out, and Nelly Cruz coming up.
Yeah, that's one you wouldn't go to third on Craig Gentry or Leonis Martin. But one thing you know before a series is the strength of the outfielder's arms, and Lance felt he could get there. He was right. If that ball's maybe 6 or 8 inches more toward the outside part of the plate, it might have been a different story. As it was a pretty good pitch to hit. You can see AJ was disappointed that he got underneath it.
Yeah, and that's being very kind. Disappointed that it
well, fortunately the bat didn't hit the ground and go into the dugout or into the stands.
Oh, another pitching change underway. It'll be a right-handed coming on from the Indian bullpen. We'll tell you about him when we get back. 5-1 Cleveland in the 6th. Order for dinner every Tuesday night, now through August the 13th, and enter to win free Rangers tickets and a VIP Rangers experience. Visit otbfanzone.com for more details. The right-hander Brian Shaw summoned from the bullpen to work to Nelly Cruz. 2 on, 1 out here in the 6th inning. Rangers trailing 5-1. Cruz takes a fastball right down through there.
Like so many of the relievers you see around baseball. First pitch from Shaw, 95 miles an hour. Good numbers for Shaw. About a strikeout per inning. Keeps the ball in the ballpark.
Cruz had one up to work with and fouled it off to the right. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, that was one to challenge that keep the ball in the ballpark statement. But he fouled it off.
Shaw, part of that 3-team trade that Indians and Cincinnati and St. Louis pulled off back in December. Right-hander to the plate. And again, Cruz fouling it away. Lance Berkman, the runner, over at third now. He walked to start this inning. Trailing him at first is Adrian Beltre. Beltre had a single. A.J. Pierzynski flied out for the first out. Now Cruz trying to keep the train rolling along. Got him swinging. Good breaking ball from Shaw. That is out number 2.
Well, he had a hanger to hit, and he fouled it off, and then Shaw made a good pitch. Good arm. Yeah, that's a little bit better slider right there.
So 2 gone now. Jeff Baker will face Shaw. Baker tonight has struck out and fouled out. .325 the average as Baker gets set, and Shaw's first pitch leaves the breaking ball inside for ball 1. Shaw set, a check of the runners. The 1-0 pitch. That will even the count. Foul ball off the end of the bat for Jeff Baker.
Well, Jeff getting a start tonight at a position he hasn't played a lot of for the Rangers, second base. Most of his at-bats have been against a left-handed pitcher, so getting the challenge of a righty tonight at a position that he hasn't played a lot of.
Chopper over the mound behind second. Kipnis has it. Steps on the bag, and that will do it. Unpromising start to the inning. Rangers, however, come up empty. No runs to hit, 2 left. On to the 7th we go. 5-1 Cleveland on Fox Sports Southwest. Cleveland to 6 innings. Indian home runs tonight by Mike Aviles and Jason Kipnis. Meanwhile, Rangers scoring their only run tonight on a home run by Leonis Martin. And Ron Washington has gone to the bullpen, and Robbie Ross answered the bell. He is on the hill now. Ross facing the left-handed hitting second baseman Jason Kipnis. A bunt down the third baseline, but that's going to go off into foul territory, and count moves to 1-1. Robbie last worked the first game of this series, not the win in that worked an inning. Remember, he had the one walk and then struck out 3 in a row. Walked Jason Giambi in that 7th inning. Rangers came back and took the lead on Lance Berkman's 2-run home run in the bottom of the 7th.
Robbie, the last couple times out, has been airing it out. He's been as high as 95 miles an hour a couple of times.
Kipnis plugging the gap in left center. Murphy over to cut it off. Kipnis a turn to first. He's going for 2. Here's the throw. The tag, not in time.
Boy, made it another close play on a ball you just assume is a double. Kipnis runs pretty well. And he almost got gunned down again. Another throw by David.
Well, we saw Murphy throw out Carlos Santana an almost identical play last night, and he almost gets it done here.
Nice night for Kipnis. Single, double, and a home run.
So leadoff 2-bagger gets Kipnis out there, and now Nick Swisher will turn around and bat from the right side against Robbie Ross. Swisher 0 for 3, a couple of ground outs and a strikeout. No balls and a strike. On the outside corner, pulling the string, Robbie Ross gets the strike. It is 0-2. Swisher 0 for 2 with a strikeout against Robbie Ross. A good time to get a strikeout here, too, for the Ranger left-hander. Popped up, and that will reach the seats over the Ranger dugout. Rangers have some work to do. Ross charged with keeping this at a 4-run deficit. Rangers trying to get to the Indian bullpen unit, but they have to keep it manageable. Robbie okays the sign. Again, the 0-2 pitch is on the way. Call strike 3. Well, he locked up Nick Swisher like he put handcuffs on him. And Robbie Ross does get a big strikeout. 1 gone.
Oh, looked like a good pitch. Right on the inside part of the plate. In fact, more than a good pitch. That's all the way into the strike zone. Swisher's got a pretty good eye at the plate. I'm not sure if he was upset with himself for taking it or whether he thought that was a ball, but that thing was all over the strike zone.
Well, 1 away. Now it's left-hander against left-hander. Michael Brantley, who's had a good night, fouls off the first Ross offering. Brantley 2 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Drove in a run in the 3rd inning, his 27th of the year. Kipnis, the runner at second. Ross checks him. And back to the plate with a good fastball. It's 0-2. Ross set. Fastball, call strike 3. And no argument from Michael Brantley. Back-to-back punch-outs on a called 3rd strike. 2 away.
He's on his way to doing the same thing he did the other night. After a man gets on, punch out the side. That just froze him right there. I was going to use one of your lines, Buzz, but I can't steal it from you.
That's okay.
That was the gem. That was your gem line. The Swanson TV dinner.
Swanson TV dinner. We'll break that out again.
All right.
Carlos Santana, and boy, Robbie Ross pumping strike after strike now. That must be a late cutting fastball that he's throwing tonight, too.
Yeah, it freezes a lot of hitters for sure.
Santana, an RBI double his last time to the plate. 1-1 the count. Santana just 0 for 1 against Ross. The left-hander okays the sign and comes set. 1-1 pitch. 2-1. And I think, Robbie, what we've seen in Santana in this series, probably a good idea to be careful with him when a base hit can get them a run. Kipnis out there at second, and you do have a base open, even though you have a right-hander in the on-deck circle. 2-1 pitch, pop foul. That is backing out of play. Folks, a reminder, you can join us at On the Border for dinner every Tuesday night through August the 13th and enter to win free Rangers tickets and a VIP Rangers experience. Visit OTBFanzone.com for more details. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ross facing Santana. To center field. In a hurry is Martin. Leonis with a good burst of speed, able to close and make the catch. So the leadoff double is wasted by Cleveland. 1 left. It's stretch time in Arlington. 5-1 Cleveland. Brought to you by the all-new Mazda 6. When you change everything, you change everything. Elvis Andrus and the Rangers looking on. Texas coming to bat here in the bottom of the 7th inning, down by 4. Brian Shaw dealing to Chris McGinnis. It is strike one. McGinnis, Martin, and Profar, first three hitters against Brian Shaw in this inning. McGinnis has struck out both times that he has come to the plate tonight. Both those at bats were against the starter, Ubaldo Jimenez. The 1-1 pitch. Good changeup.
Broke the changeup out. That was a good one. We were talking about this a couple weeks ago, Buzz. If parents or coaches are watching and you have kids that you think have a chance to become a pitcher and they're young, teach them a changeup.
Yep.
Man, that's an equalizer, whether it's little league, high school, college, minor leagues, big leagues. You got a good changeup, you can get people out.
McGinnis pulls one toward the corner and right. That is down for a base hit. It's cut off by Drew Stubbs. So he got a changeup that time and stayed up a little bit for him. And McGinnis with a leadoff single. Rangers get something going here in the seventh inning. Well, Leonis Martin coming up in our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game by Leonis Martin. Leading off the third inning. Boom. That got out of here in freaky fast time. Delivered into the Ranger bullpen. Leonis with his third home run of the year. He's up there now with McGinnis aboard and nobody out in the seventh. Rangers trailing by 4. Bluffs the bunt, takes ball one.
Buzz, if there is a coach listening, watching right now, and he's got a youngster, not a high school kid, but a youngster. Let's say he's between the ages of 7 and 12.
Yep.
Doesn't have a big hand. So what? And you say, okay, teach him a changeup. What would be like a couple of little key things to try to teach him to do that?
Tom, the way I try to teach guys changeups that don't really have one. Let me say there are 1,000 different ways to hold a changeup, and they all work for somebody.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like putting, all the stances you see.
Sure.
But the easiest way to do it is put more skin on the ball, more skin of your hand. If you hold it
back in your hand so you're
just more skin on it. You can do it sometimes with putting 3 fingers on the ball,
right?
Which is the whole idea behind a circle change. I don't advocate a circle change. I say hold the fastball the way you normally do and let it slide back into your hand to where more skin contacts the ball, and practice throwing that. It'll come out slower.
And you throw it the exact same way as your fastball, right?
That way, if you learn to control your fastball, then you'll have the same amount of control with your changeup too once you get used to it. But that's what I would suggest.
So the grip doesn't allow you to throw it as fast, even though you're throwing it as hard.
The more skin you get on the ball, the slower the ball is coming out of your hand. More friction. 2-2 to Leonis Martin. Double play ground ball to Avila. Kipnis. And back to Switcher. Second double play grounder after a leadoff single tonight. And the bases are empty for Jurickson Profar. Let's take a Mazda game break here. And again, John Radigan. John? All right, John, thank you. Well, Rangers had a leadoff single, and now everybody's back to the dugout with the exception of Jurickson Profar. 2 outs, and the base is empty as Profar takes outside for ball 1.
Well, Leonis hit that ball hard. That was a skimmer. That didn't even bounce. That just hugged the ground all the way right into Avilas' glove. But he hit it on the good part of the bat, hit it hard, just had no luck on where it went.
Way inside, and jackknifing out of the way, Jurickson Profar. 2-0. Profar is single in 3 trips. Had a base hit to right in the 3rd inning. Other than that, has grounded to second and flied to right field. Shaw's 2-0 pitch. And there's a base hit to center. Well, Profar is 2 for 4. 2-out single gets him aboard, and David Murphy coming up.
Outfielder David Murphy.
Jurickson's hanging in there. A 20-year-old, that's for sure.
Well, Terry Francona back out to the mound again. He wants another left-hander. The only one down there is Nick Hagedorn. We saw him throw here on Monday night. So Shaw finished. He leaves with a runner on first and 2 outs in the 7th inning. It's still a 5-1 Cleveland lead. We'll be back with more right after this. Murphy has been able to do lately. Outfield. In Boston, Murphy cutting it off before it got to the monster. A strike to second base for the out. Oh, what a throw there. And then last night, Carlos Santana rifled one to left center field. Murph into the alley. Threw a bullet into second where Profar made the tag, or Garcia, I should say. Tonight, with Bourne trying to score from second on a 2-out single, just threw it right smack dab on the money to A.J. Pierzynski for the out. That's 3 outfield assists in less than a week. And Murph is swinging a miss at Nick Hagedorn.
Well, Hagedorn's numbers on the season. He gave up the home run to Lance Berkman the other day. 18 innings. He's walked 12 guys. Opponents are only hitting .219 against him, though. Kind of negates the benefit of the walks a little bit.
Murphy, a fly ball, pretty well hit to right field. Going back his studs, but he stops on the warning track.
Just missed it.
And makes the catch. So Hagedorn almost had a repeat with Murphy up there. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left. We're going to the 8th inning. Indians 5, Rangers 1 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Buzz and Tom, real quick, time for the Progressive fan of the game. It's a tough decision. Macy and Case, they're brother and sister. Macy, you did get the foul ball, so it's all right if Case gets the fan of the game, right? All right, Case, you've been cheering all game long. What have you been doing, buddy?
Smile.
Cheering. Let's hear it.
Let's go Rangers!
There you go. There you go. That's an out. Yeah, that is an out. Here's the bag. Congratulations.
He called the out, too.
Wait, but what is this?
It's a prize. You got a prize. Your sister got a foul ball. It's a prize. Your sister got a foul ball, but you got the bag. Okay, buddy?
Okay.
All right, there we go. Let's go Rangers.
Let's go Rangers!
There we go. All right.
Good job. Good job. I like that. He's able to cheer and do play-by-play at the same time. So that's an
great.
out.
What a nice
It was.
smile.
Now, one gone, Jason Giambi facing Ross Wolf, the new Ranger pitcher. Wolf got Mark Reynolds to fly out, and there are the numbers on Ross, pitching for the first time since that 18-inning marathon on Saturday night.
Yeah, he basically had a start that day. He pitched 6 1/3 innings. Wash said he would need 3 days off. He got his 3 days, and here he is right back out there. He gained a lot of points with his manager and his pitching coach with that game. That's for sure.
And he gets some more points here as he makes Jason Giambi take a left turn at home plate, head back to the dugout, a called third strike. That is out number 2, and Mike Avila's coming up.
Yeah, that ball kind of came back and right down the middle of the plate. Started out maybe on the inside corner, and the movement took it back right near the center of the plate, but obviously fooled Giambi.
Strike 1 to Avilas. Avilas 1 for 3 tonight. 2-run home run in the second, in the line to left field in the 4th inning. Tapped right back to the box in the 6th. Ground ball cut off by Beltre. Adrian stops, triggers the throw. That's it. For Ross Wolf, a very quick and tidy 1-2-3 8th inning. Rangers come to bat at the bottom of the 8th, trailing 5-1. Hot dog. And I stuffed the ballot box. 49% of all of us said mustard. That's perfect. Love it. 21% ketchup, 17% nothing.
Wow.
A
17% for
yeah.
nothing. Wow.
13% mayonnaise. That was Kurt Deicher's 13% in there.
I think Kurt goes mayo and ketchup, doesn't he? He's a mayo ketchup guy. Kind of like he likes the Russian dressing on his dogs. I like mustard, but I got to have relish with mine too.
We didn't have that in there, did we?
No, no relish.
Joe Smith is the new pitcher for the Tribe, dealing to Lance Berkman.
Well, Joe Smith pitched last night, gave up that home run to A.J. Przynski that he golfed down the right field line.
A strike to the outside corner, and a new third baseman who's all by himself on that side, John McDonald.
Yeah, McDonald, good utility guy. Looks like he's got good energy, good guy on a team. They just picked him up.
That's out of play to the left, and the count remains a ball and 2 strikes to Berkman.
You talk to people with the teams that he's been on, they say he's a terrific defensive player wherever you put him.
Lance, as you saw, a couple of walks tonight, upping his season total to 35, and he swings and misses at that pitch from Joe Smith. Well, Berkman retired, 1 away for Adrian Beltre. Now, for more on what's coming up on the Esurance Rangers Live postgame show, let's send it to John Radigan. John?
Yeah, Buzz, out here in the Captain Morgan Club, I will be joined by Mark McLemore for Rangers Live, presented by Esurance. We'll give you a complete postgame wrap-up of this one. Lots of analysis from Mark McLemore, lots of postgame reaction from Emily Jones, who will be working the clubhouse tonight. So come on, right after the game, stay with us in the Captain Morgan Club for Rangers Live, presented by Esurance, guys.
All right, John, thanks. Adrian Beltre at the plate. Adrian 1 for 2 tonight. A single to right field his last time up. Smith missing low and inside, and it's 2-0. Well, Adrian with that base hit, and his average back up to an even 300 for the season. And Smith missing inside again. It's 3 balls and no strikes. So Adrian trying to get aboard. Rangers need some base runners. A.J. Przynski waiting in the on-deck circle. And ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Beltre. And now Przynski facing Smith for the second time in a little less than 24 hours. Beltre with his second walk tonight. John's on down to first. AJ 0 for 3 tonight. So when he faced Joe Smith last night, he cranked one deep into the lower home run porch. That was his 5th home run of the year. And he was thinking about a repeat. He got out in front of that off-speed pitch a little bit and jerked it foul. It's 0-1. Breaking ball stays wide. It is 1 ball and 1 strike. AJ at 304, facing Joe Smith. Adrian Beltre, the runner at first. Check swing, and he went around. Well, good sinking action on that Smith offering. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Smith steps back off the back of the pitching rubber. Smith, originally a property of the Mets, came over to Cleveland for the 2009 season. Tried the back door with that breaking ball and just missed. It is 2-2. Joe, the last 2 years in a Cleveland uniform, has been in 143 games coming into this year. He's been a workhorse. Got him swinging. Boy, upstairs with that fastball, and everything was down, down, down. All of a sudden, you pop one up there, and AJ couldn't catch up with it. That is out number 2. Well, here's Nelson. 0 for 2 tonight. a couple of strikeouts, also had a walk. That was way back in the second inning. Breaking ball outside. Remember last night we told you about Joey Gallo hitting 3 home runs in that first game of a doubleheader with a double. Tonight, in the first game of a doubleheader, or second game of a doubleheader, he had 2 more home runs.
Jeez.
I think he's on fire.
I saw he's on pace to hit something like 40 home runs and strike out 200 times. So he's going for it, boy.
Yeah, he is.
You can't teach the power. You can eventually continue to make more and more contact and cut down the strikeouts. I'll take a guy like that any day, boy. 19 years old, pounding the ball like that.
He's up to 20 home runs already this year. The first 2 months of the season. That's pretty impressive.
There's been a lot of guys who have made a lot of money and batted in the middle of lineups that struck out a lot. You know, Adam Dunn has done it. Jim Thome has done it. Been a lot of guys like that. Add some walks to it.
The 2-2 pitch. Foul back.
Another guy that's done it is Mark Reynolds for the Indians. He had about a 5-year period where he averaged 190 to 200 strikeouts, but he also averaged 33, 35 home runs every year, too.
Two and two. Smith back up on top of the hill. Cruz waiting with Beltre at first.
Doink. That's the all-time sound right there. I don't think we've heard that noise this year.
I have not heard that. And the foul ball went just to the left of the Ranger dugout, right back in the middle of it. That sounded like he hit it with a balsa wood 2x4.
Got some kindling wood with that one.
Blowing outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Nelly trying to get aboard. Rangers need a couple more base runners to bring the tying run up. Jeff Baker waiting in that on-deck circle. Beltre will be off with the 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. Now Smith set. Got him swinging. Now Smith ends up striking out the side, working around a walk to Adrian Beltre. We're going to the 9th inning in Arlington. It's the Indians 5, the Rangers 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Of the All-Star game that's in New York this year. And the Rangers need your help to get Elvis and company back on top. Get him in first place. Go to TexasRangers.com to cast up to 25 ballots online and learn how you can cast an extra 10. Fans that vote up to 25 times will receive a 50% off ticket offer. And while I was telling you about that, Drew Stubbs leading off the top of the ninth inning. Doubled inside the bag at third, and he is aboard against Ross Wolf.
Ross had the 1, 2, 3, 8th inning on 6 pitches. Stubbs hit the first pitch, so he's still only thrown 7 pitches. A little too hot for Adrian to handle. A little bit too far to his right, too.
That is the 10th hit of the night for the Cleveland Indians, and Michael Bourne steps in with 2 of them. He is 2 for 4 tonight, with his 5th plate appearance. Stubbs, the runner at second, getting his lead. Ross checks him a couple times, and Wolf delivers outside. It is 1 ball and no strikes. Bourne singled in the first inning, was thrown out trying to score from second. Michael Brantley singled that into the first. Then Bourne singled in the third and came around to score. Wolf's going to wait till Profar gets back to second base, and the pitch is outside with Bourne backing out of the batter's box, but time was not called.
Generally, the pitcher will step off in that situation. Ross just stayed right on the mound and waited for Jurickson to get back to shortstop. Bourne had enough. He backed out, didn't get time, and it's a ball.
Fastball is low. 3 balls and no strikes. Wolf nods in agreement. Check of second, 3-0 pitch. And ball 4. Bourne able to get the 4-pitch walk. Runners at first and second now with nobody out. And Jason Kipnis is coming to the plate.
Second baseman, Jason Kipnis.
Ron Washington would really like to see Ross Wolf get out of this without any further damage done. Rangers have only 1 at-bat left in this game. They're playing the top of the 9th inning, and a 4-run deficit, not easy to overcome, but any more than that, you're asking for an awful lot out of your offense. Kipnis a triple shy of the cycle here tonight. Runners at first and second, nobody out. And the fastball is a little bit low for ball 1. Rangers have both cornermen, Beltre and McGinnis, up in front of the bag. And a hot shot on 1 bounce. They go to second or third for the force there. And now Beltre will go to second for the force there.
That's good thinking by Profar.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to turn a triple play like that, but once it hit the ground, Profar thinking ahead, got the force out at third, and then yelled to Adrian, hey, look, guy on first base can't run. Got to force out at second. Quick thinking by the 20-year-old.
So your normal 6-5-4 double play.
I think a lot of fielders, me included, would have just turned the traditional double play, and the man would have ended up on third instead of first. So that was good thinking by Profar.
No, there are 2 outs now, and Nick Swisher comes to the plate. Well, that really wasn't the kind of double play I had in mind, but that's close enough.
That worked pretty good.
Yeah, it did. We'll deal with that. Swisher 0 for 4 tonight. A pair of strikeouts. Wolf to the plate and gets a belt high strike. 0-1. Swisher, along with the 2 strikeouts, has grounded out to first a couple of times. But continuing to struggle in the early going of June. Good breaking ball. That is in and over. It's 0-2.
Well, one thing the relievers have done, if you're going to have to use 4 innings of relievers, is they've been efficient and they've got out of their innings quickly. Wolf has a chance to get an out with this pitch. Pitch 2 innings, give up a walk and a double on 16 pitches. Robbie had a quick inning. Jason Frazier had a really quick inning.
Pistano and Albers, pair of right-handers throwing.
Whoever gets loose the quickest is coming in. It's a race.
0-2 to Swisher. That just missed coming back for a strike, and it's 1-2. The Ranger relievers in their 4 innings of work, or it will be 4 innings after Ross Wolf gets finished here. Just 2 hits, and that's very efficient. Low and inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 hits and 1 walk. Frazier had an inning. Robbie Ross, and now Ross Wolf working on his 2nd inning here tonight. 2-2. Wolf sets. And to the plate. Breaking ball, low and in. The count has gone full to Swisher. Ron Washington is, as always, keeping a close eye on things. Payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. And that puts runners at first and second now with 2 outs. And Michael Brantley will be the hitter. Second walk of the inning allowed by Ross Wolf. Brantley stepping to the plate, 2 for 3 tonight. He singled twice. He has walked, scored a run, driven in a run. And last time up, he struck out. Wolf with a pitch. And it's low for ball 1. 34,248 on hand here tonight. Pushes the Rangers season, or Ranger total for this series to up over 113,000. Pitch, chop, foul. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. And for the season, at 1,150,000. Rangers still leading the American League in average home attendance, just over 39,300.
I remember in 1974, the Rangers drew 1 million people, gave away a keychain. Thanks a million. They were happy with 1 million people back then.
Yep.
Now it's 1.5 million or so before the All-Star break.
1-2 the count to Brantley. Yeah, times have changed a little bit. Expectations. Brantley waiting. Wolf gets the sign from A.J. Pierzynski and comes set. Foul ball. We'll try it again at 1-2. Wolf studying the signs. Gipnis the runner at second. Swisher at first. And the 1-2 to Brantley. To center field. Leonis Martin almost dead in his tracks. Able to put it away, and that will do it. No runs, a hit, 2 left. Rangers coming to bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. They are trailing the Indians 5-1 on Fox Sports Southwest. not so old veteran players giving back to the young guys. Check this out.
Yeah, what Elvis is telling Jurickson is once you got the ball, tag the runner. Runner's going to go back to second. Tag the runner, step on second, and throw to first. You would have had a triple play. I didn't even realize watching it off the bat. Probably some people watching the game said the same thing. But when Jurickson got back, Elvis had a good point. Jurickson had a heads-up play to get the double play. But based on what Elvis is saying, if you tag the runner quickly, step on the bag quickly enough, you might get the guy at first base and get a triple play.
That's right.
That's why those guys are down in the dugout. They're smarter than we are.
Vinny Pestano coming on now to work the 9th inning against the Rangers. Pestano facing Baker, McGinnis, and Martine. Hard throwing right-hander goes to work and deals strike one. Baker tonight 0 for 3. Struck out, grounded out, and popped out. And now down on the count to Pestano. No balls and 2 strikes. Rangers a run on just 6 hits tonight. And a chopper slowly hit down the first base side. Stays in foul territory. We'll come back and try it again. So back-to-back games that the Rangers were looking for some kind of a spark and just haven't found it. Last night, 2 runs on 7 hits as Baker takes on. Tonight, a run on 6 hits through 8 innings. And Ron Washington hopes that they get the spark back tomorrow, but he knows that they're going to get their spark plug back, hopefully by the end of the weekend, and Ian Kinsler. That's outside. In case you missed it, Ian today cleared to begin his rehab assignment at AA Frisco tomorrow. He will DH in tomorrow's game and then play in the field at least Friday and Saturday. I say at least because they'll reevaluate the situation after the game on Saturday. Foul away to the right. 2-2 to Baker. Pestano ready, and the pitch. And a little chopper foul again. Dave Anderson down there at first base handles the chopper and makes a new friend. A couple of new friends. Happy with that foul ball. Now the Indians leaving town after the ball game tonight. Tomorrow it's the Toronto Blue Jays in the first of 4. And this one popped up. Swisher, the first baseman, over right next to the railing. Can't reach in to get it. And when there's just enough of a breeze to push it back out of his reach. And we'll try it again at 2-2. Pitching matchup for tomorrow. It'll be Yu Darvish and Esmail Rogers. AT&T bringing you that information. 7 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Southwest. Darvish and Rogers in the first of 4 over the weekend. Rangers and Blue Jays. And foul back by Baker.
We saw Rogers in Toronto and he threw the ball great. Mid-90s fastball. Good pitches to go along with it too. Making a transition from the bullpen to the rotation.
Well, Baker hanging tough here against Pestano. This is the 10th pitch of this at bat. And we're going to have at least 11. Pestano set once again. And another foul ball. Chris McGinnis waiting in that on-deck circle. He's going to be next one of these times. Pitch number 12 of the at-bat coming. He takes up an off throw right down the middle.
Frustrating for the pitcher.
Yep.
Trying to come in and get your work in, get a 15-pitch inning. You're going to throw 15 pitches to the first hitter. Look at those digits all over the place.
Pestano with pitch number 13. And we're going to have at least 14.
What's the record?
I don't know.
I remember an at-bat against John Wetland. Jermaine died in Kansas City having a bat against John Wetland. I don't know how many pitches it was. Like this, 14 or 15 pitches, and then ended up hitting a home run against him.
Well, I'd take that right here.
Wow.
Well, quite a few of the 34,000 plus have left, but Baker's trying to make sure that everybody that stayed gets a souvenir. He's well on his way to getting that done. Look at that spread chart.
This at-bat is not over until the rectangle is completely covered in yellow.
Pitch number 15. Off Pestano's glove. Kipnis, quick release, and just did get it. After all that, Baker comes within an eyelash of beating it out. And Ron Washington out there to talk to Tim Timmons, the first base umpire. Baker had something to say to Timmons on his way by. And Washington a little more animated. And again, the umpires prevail. Yeah. They win that.
Tim's out there thinking, man, a nice, easy game. It's almost over. Well, that's about as close as it can get.
Pretty close, wasn't it?
I can't even call it watching it in slow motion replay. I got to go with Jeff on that one.
Man. In any event, one away. Here's McGinnis. And he takes a strike from Pestano. Chris singled his last time up. Pulled one into right field. He's 1 for 3. Rip and a miss on the sweeper of a breaking ball. It is 0-2. Now time called momentarily, and as Diaz coming out from behind the mound, or the catcher. Pestano off the mound momentarily. 0-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Well, McGinnis strikes out for the third time tonight. The Rangers are down to their final out. And Leonis Martin coming up to try and extend the ball game. Ranger hitters tonight with 9 strikeouts. And this is a team that 3 weeks ago was striking out the fewest of any team in the American League. But it has been 3 weeks or so of hitting futility as far as strikeouts. Aviles scrambles up, throws, and Switzer can't dig it out. Well, Leonis Martin extends the ball game. As Aviles made a fine play to get there and scrambled up quickly. Good throw would have gotten him, but he was in the dirt in Aviles' haste, and they're going to charge an error to Mike Aviles.
That's a tough error.
Yeah.
It was a nice pickup. He had to get up as quick as he could, throw it as quick as he could. And under those conditions, it's not a routine play for sure. He does have a chance, though, from right there. And the throw is not an accurate throw. That's why it's called an error.
Well, the first error of the ball game for either club. And back to the top of the order now, Jurix and Profar. who is 2 for 4. He takes outside for ball 1. Profar, a pair of singles, 1 to right, 1 to center. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Jurickson, that batting average now on the upswing again, 282 after the 2 base hits. Going from first to second, Leonis Martin, and he will be awarded second on defensive indifference. Not being held on. 2-1, the count to Profar. Pestano, a check of second. Way inside, and it's 3-1. Now, Wash, you see his club now get to a point where you start thinking about we need to get Profar on, then Murphy on, and we'll have the tying run coming to the plate. That's a spot you want to get to in the last at bat. You can get that tying run to the plate, you've got a chance. 3-1 pitch from Pestano. Little broken bat looper to right field down the line. It is a fair ball. Around third and coming in to score. Leonis Martin into second with the RBI double on the broken bat. Is Jurickson Profar. It's a 5-2 Cleveland lead.
One more base runner, and they do have the tying run at the plate. Ball got in on Jurickson a little bit, but the little blooper found a hole. Ran it in on his fist, broke the bat, but he'll take a broken bat and an RBI double any day.
Profar driving in his 7th run of the year. And that brings Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, back out to the mound as action starts once again in the Cleveland bullpen. Now, all this set up by a 15-pitch at bat by Jeff Baker, even though he didn't get aboard to start the inning.
Yeah, that'd been a different kind of an inning, possibly, if he got on base. You never know what would have happened. Looked like the call at first base could have gone either way. It didn't go Jeff's way.
Here's David Murphy, who is 0 for 4. Breaking ball makes it 0-1. Murph is flying out, popped out, and twice grounded out. Once into a double play. Profar at second. 0-1 pitch. Murphy hits it in the air to center. Bourne, in a hurry, is going to have room in front of the warning track and makes the catch, and that'll do it. So the Rangers come up with a run in the 9th inning on a hit and an error. They leave one, and Ron Washington's club now has lost 2 straight as they go down to defeat tonight. It was the Indians 5 and the Rangers 2. And we have the home run challenge coming up for you. What we were able to take care of tonight. 3 home runs tonight, $36,000 raised. And that, of course, to the Prostate Cancer Foundation. And to donate, just visit www.homerunchallenge.org. And you can support that great Prostate Cancer Foundation and the work that they do. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Come join the red, white, and used celebration. Enjoy great savings on America's best-selling brand. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. The 5-2 the final from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. John Radigan, Mark McLemore. We've got to wrap things up for you right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.